A very good evening and welcome. Sundays are like open windows filled with light and possibility. Now they offer us a chance to slow down, reflect and spend cherished moments with our families, sharing smiles and memories. So, with a heart full of gratitude and warmth, I will invite you to join me again tonight as a family gathering here on Newsline. I am Claire Adelabu Abdul-Razak, your pilot. Now let's kickstart with a taste of what's coming up. On the line tonight, our correspondent will uncover the reasons behind people's silence. Now, why do people hesitate to speak out when they see something concerning? Now, could it be fear of being wrong or simply not just wanting to get involved? Well, we will share with you a remarkable story of hope and resilience, showcasing resilience and recovery, as we also take you to Ogbomoso, where hope has been rekindled for many patients. Now, we will also feature tonight incredible stories that touch the heart, stories that are unimaginable but true. And in addition, we would also explore our rich cultural heritage and celebrations of life. But first, let's join Elizabeth Omori for the news segment. Elizabeth, it's your time now.
Thank you so much, Claire, and thanks for joining us on the news segment. The NNPC Limited, in a statement released today, says the organization regrets the tightness in fuel supply witnessed in some parts of Lagos and the FCT. A statement by Olufemi Shonaye, Chief Corporate Communications Officer, NNPC Limited, attributes the tightness to distribution challenges. NNPC Limited is urging motorists to shun panic buying, stressing that it is working round the clock with relevant stakeholders to restore normalcy. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited also debunked our media report that the company is indebted to international oil traders to the tune of $6.8 billion and that it has not remitted revenues to the Federation account since January, among other allegations. To power supply, residents of Calabar and its environs have been assured of improved electricity supply. The assurance was given during a visit by members of the House Committee on Power to Calabar Electricity Generating Company. Mordenleo Ajam tells us more.
Even though it is being observed that there is a significant improvement in the electricity supply in the country for the past 3 months as a result of the commitments and efforts of the federal government, the House of Representatives Committee on Power says it will continue to place premium on ensuring electricity is supplied to Nigerians to meet their expectations, while believing issues of insecurity and unemployment is gradually being checked. The Chairman, House of Representatives Committee on Power, who led his members on this tour to the Calabar Generating Company Limited, highlighted the benefits of the Electricity Act signed into law by the President this year and the benefits of the synergy between the executive and legislature.
We are here in furtherance of our constitutional responsibility. We are happy from what we have seen. One, the management of NDPC through Calabar Generation Plant, they are proactive. We pray they keep the flag flying the way it is, because once they're able to do this and TCN improves in their takeoff, I'm sure power supply will get nearer to the masses.
The Managing Director, Niger Delta Power Holding Company Limited, joined the Chairman, House of Representatives Committee on Power to call on Nigerians to be alive to their citizenship by watching out for vandals of government assets and infrastructure.
Promising Nigerians there will be more improvement. We are ready to serve Nigerians. We are serving Nigerians. We are ready to serve Nigerians more.
The House Committee also commended the maintenance culture of the plant by its management. In Calabar, Mordenleo Ajam, NTA News.
A bit on business. Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Dr. Doris Anyite, says the federal government under the Presidential Grant and Loan Scheme is set to disburse funds to more than 700 manufacturers and MSMEs across the country who have been verified. The minister made this known while presenting checks to beneficiaries in Calabar, Cross River State. Anita says so far, 660,320 nano beneficiaries have already received disbursements from the Presidential Loans and Grant Scheme, and reveals that loan disbursements for manufacturers and MSMEs will commence next month. Following the verification of more than 700,000 applications, Governor Otu of Cross River State, who commended the gesture, says the Presidential Conditional Grant is revitalizing small businesses and economic prospects, and interactive session provided a platform for open dialogue, fostering collaboration between federal and state governments to drive economic empowerment, with more than 200 billion naira allocated to support growth, employment and prosperity. In other news, many houses and farmlands have been submerged by flood in Gumi local government area of Zamfara State. Hundreds of households are displaced by the disaster as victims struggle to resettle. Jamilu Ibrahim brings us details.
The flood, which occurred as a result of a heavy downpour that lasted for more than 48 hours, submerged many houses and farmlands across Gumi town, headquarters of Gumi local government area of Zamfara State, and some neighboring communities. Though the exact number of houses and farmlands affected by the disaster is yet to be ascertained, many residents describe the flood as the most devastating in recent years. Hundreds of the displaced persons are now taking shelter in the least affected neighborhood and communities. The victims continue to count their losses as they appeal for urgent intervention to cushion the effect of the disaster. I have lost my house and all other valuables therein, including the foodstuffs, to the flood. We are appealing to the state and the federal governments to urgently come to our aid. It has almost destroyed all the farmlands in this area. As of the time of filing this report, good Samaritans were sighted busy trying to help some victims, especially women and children, out of the flooded areas. Meanwhile, Zamfara State Governor Dauda Lawal has in a statement sympathized with the people of Gumi Emirate over the tragedy. He also directed the Zamfara State Emergency Management Agency to immediately assess the situation for urgent intervention to the victims. In Gusau, Jamilu Ibrahim, NTA News.
Meanwhile, victims of the recent flood, which ravaged many communities across 12 local government areas of Jigawa State, have appealed to relevant authorities to come to their aid as they struggle to return to normal life. Awal Mohammed Kazari, who visited Kiyawa, one of the affected local government areas, reports that the disaster forced victims to take refuge in schools and IDP camps in different parts of the state.
People of Kiawa are among the more than 3,000 people displaced by the devastating flood across about 12 local government areas of Jigawa State. Muhammad Ibrahim and his family, who now live in IDP camp, said for the last 20 years they had been living in the area peacefully, but this time all their belongings had been lost to the flood. He and other victims have to bear the inconveniences attached to living in IDP camp, separated from their immediate families.
We are receiving support from the government, but it is still not enough. As you can see, there are a lot of people here. We have never witnessed this kind of flood in this town. This is an act of God. We are still suffering from the impact of this flood, and we don't know what to do. We are appealing to both federal and state governments to come to our aid. We need proper drainage systems in our towns.
State Emergency Management Agency has already responded to the plight of the victims, but it said that it's not enough, appealing to the federal government and other well-meaning Nigerians to support the victims.
When disaster comes, all hands must be on deck to support the government effort. It is pertinent that we should start soliciting for urgent humanitarian support to assist the internally displaced persons with either food or non-food items to be able to support the victims during the trying time.
Provision of food, drug and mosquito nets is essential to support Muhammad Ibrahim and his likes, who now live in IDP camps, to avoid any outbreak of diseases. In Duse, Awal Muhammad Kazaure, NTA News.
Thank you, Awal. Now, the local government financial autonomy achieved via landmark judgment of the Supreme Court and allocation of 450,000 BPD crude oil to local refineries have been considered two outstanding milestones of President Bola Tinubu, which must not be allowed to be scuttled. A foundation member of the All Progressives Congress, Osita Okechukwu, has advised President Bola Tinubu to beware of interests which, with ulterior motives. The former Director General of the Voice of Nigeria offered this advice in Abuja while speaking with journalists on the state of the nation. He objected to a purported 3 months extension of the enforcement of the Supreme Court judgment, saying the Apex Court did not grant such a bazaar to governors. He argued that the president could risk contempt of court. He allows governors to goad him into putting the judgment on hold. Talking health, the Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Ali Pate, accompanied by the Finance Minister Wale Edun, inaugurated an ultra-modern diagnostic center at the Abubakar Tafawa Balewa University Teaching Hospital, Bauchi. The project, according to the minister, is part of the Tinubu Renewed Hope agenda to ensure access to quality healthcare services across the country. Awal Abdullahi brings us details.
The Ultramodern Oncology and Diagnostic Center project will include laboratory tests, endoscopic examination and surgery for full diagnostic services in partnership with the Nigerian Sovereign Investment Authority. The facility at the Abubakar Tafawa Balewa University Teaching Hospital is to complement other centers in the country in the area of providing effective quality healthcare services, especially for treatment of cancer.
In just 1 year, Mr. President has done what has not been done in the history of this country in the health sector. He's launched many initiatives, and building on what MedServ has done, we are seeing 10 major infrastructural projects. The groundbreaking is happening. Not talk, but in 12 months we will start opening them all across Nigeria.
That is the way in which together, under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the economy will grow, become more productive, create more jobs, and reduce poverty.
We are grateful to Mr. President for what he has done to Bauchi. We are ready to collaborate with you. We are ready to give all the support for all these programs to be done. Already we have surrendered our general hospital in Misau for the provision of the Federal Medical Center.
The ministers were at the government house and the Bauchi Emir's palace, where the Emir of Bauchi, Rilwanu Suleiman Adamu, honored the minister, Professor Ali Pate, with the traditional title of First Minasaran Bauchi. In Bauchi, Awal Abdullahi, NTA News.
Still talking health, the Nigeria Center for Disease Control and Prevention says the country strengthened national coordination response on managing several endemic diseases, including Mpox, recently declared a public health emergency by the World Health Organization. At a media engagement in Abuja, Director General of the NCDC, Dr. Jide Idris, said Nigeria is also closely monitoring developments of the disease outside the country and putting mechanisms in place to prevent its importation. Olusheye Adeabu reports.
In the Mpox epidemiological summary of the NCDC, Nigeria has no record of deaths, but a total of 39 cases have been confirmed out of 788 suspected ones in 33 states, including the FCT, between 1st January and 5th August 2024. To counter the spread of Mpox, a highly contagious disease formerly known as monkeypox, Nigeria's CDC Director General spoke on the workings of the National Mpox Technical Working Group.
We are intensifying surveillance activities that's tracking cases across Nigeria to swiftly detect and respond to any new cases. We are working with the Port Health Services. Along this line, 5 designated international airports and some key seaports, including land and foot crossing borders, have been placed on high alert. Declaration forms have been distributed to airlines, especially those coming in from countries where there is an ongoing outbreak of Mpox in the last 90 days.
The center draws on control measures.
It is making efforts to make vaccines available to the public, especially for the hotspot areas. These vaccines have been shown to have a favorable safety profile. We're looking for support funding internationally, and that's why, again, we're talking to a lot of our partners.
The NCDC board sensitizes citizens on adherence to proven infectious prevention measures to limit mpox virus transmission. In Abuja, Olusheye Adiagbo, NTA News.
The war against drug trafficking, a Vietnam-bound businessman has been arrested by operatives of the National Drug Enforcement Agency at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, for ingesting cocaine. Salwat Khalil Ibrahim reports that 6.2 billion naira worth of codeine bottles were also recovered at Onne ports.
The 54-year-old suspect was intercepted at the boarding gate of the Abuja airport on Monday, 12th August, after 4 days under excretion observation. He ingested a total of 88 wraps of the illicit drug. He claimed that he was given the cocaine pellet to swallow by a friend for onward delivery to Vietnam for a fee of $2,000. In the same vein, NDLEA officers at the export shed of the Murtala Muhammed International Airport, Ikeja, Lagos, have intercepted a shipment of loud weighing 800 grams concealed in noodles going to Congo. A follow-up operation at the Alaba International Market led to the arrest of the sender of the consignment, who deals in GSM handsets. Meanwhile, a large consignment of loud imported from Canada have been recovered by NDLEA operatives at the Lagos airport. A suspect who arrived with 6 boxes was arrested during a joint examination by the security agencies at the arrival hall. No less than 892,400 bottles of codeine-based syrup worth more than 6 billion naira were recovered in 5 containers shipped from India, while operatives in Niger State on Thursday, 15th August, arrested a suspect in Kontagora town with 28,500 pills of tramadol concealed in loudspeaker. In Abuja, Salwa Khalil Ibrahim, NTA News.
Away from drug interception, the National Youth Service Corps has expelled 54 corps members who were illegally mobilized by the University of Calabar for national service. Olayin Kauju reports.
For some time now, the NYSC has been faced with the challenge of some corps-producing institutions giving approval to unqualified graduates to participate in the mandatory one-year national call to service.
Remain vigilant and proactive in our approach.
But this time around, it is Vice Chancellor, University of Calabar, taking the bull by the horn, reporting suspected cases of illegal mobilization of unqualified graduates from the institution to the NYSC.
So all this lies on the integrity of the institutions and the Vice Chancellor's concern. You understand? That's why I said we must all give applause to the Vice Chancellor of University of Calabar.
While noting that the affected corps members will be prosecuted, the NYSC Director General says 19 other individuals who attempted to register online for mobilization were prevented from doing so.
We have blocked them in our system. Their names will be published as well, so that everybody will see them. There are 19 of them. So we have 54 serving corps members in various states. These 54 we have communicated to all our state coordinators. They too, they have already been demobilized.
This is coming after the NYSC invalidated 101 certificates of national service earlier, bringing the total number of affected certificates to 178. Olayinka Ojo, NTA News.
In another news, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, extols Universal Reformed Christian Church for its doggedness on evangelical mission anchored on love and human resource development. This was at a Thanksgiving service organized by the church in recognition of its selfless service to the country over the years. Kenneth Nanim reports that the SGF urges the church to remain focused.
Sunday services across the Christian denominations are usually lively, but something seems unique here at the NKST Universal Reformed Christian Church, Abuja. The worshippers seem to be in high spirits in anticipation of their guest arrival. Eventually, the moment arrives. This one welcome seems to have awakened nostalgic feelings in the SGF, and he has a duty to recognize as many that seek his attention. He knows virtually everyone here by name, not because they are his kinsmen and cronies, but his affection for the common man has proven him to be a grassroots personality. It is therefore not surprising that the church decided to illustrate the saying, "Give honor to whom honor is due." In this way, his contributions to the propagation of the gospel and growth of the society at large is being recognized. The love showered on him by the church speaks louder than voice. The SGF reciprocates. Speaking in vernacular, he eulogizes effort by the church in building schools and other social institutions for human resources development across the nation, as some of the beneficiaries of such gestures, he says, are already contributing meaningfully to the socio-economic development of the nation. This, he says, is in line with the message of the day taken from the book of Matthew 22, verse 36 through 40, which summarizes the commandment by Jesus Christ for man to love God and his neighbor. The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, was accompanied by his wife and other dignitaries. Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
Now to the foreign scene. The 44th Southern African Development Community Summit ends in Harare, Zimbabwe, with leaders deliberating on mpox and other challenges facing the continent. Details of this and more on Global Update with Fama Pani.
Executive Secretary of the community, Elias Magosi, said an emergency meeting of health ministers will be convened to facilitate a coordinated response to mpox, which has spread to more than a dozen African countries.
Summit directed the Secretariat to convene an urgent meeting of ministers of health to assess the impact of mpox and facilitate coordinated response to control the spread of the disease.
A total of 18,737 suspected or confirmed cases of mpox were reported in Africa since the beginning of the year, including 1,200 cases in 1 week alone, the African Union Health Agency said. Meanwhile, 37-year-old Prime Minister accepted King Maha Vajiralongkorn's official written command to form a government in a ceremony at the headquarters of a former pro-Thaksin. She came to power after a court sacked the previous premier and disbanded the main opposition party.
Together, let's turn any challenges into opportunities, making Thailand a place where everyone can dream, create, and shape their future. Thank you.
Thailand's new Prime Minister, Paetongtarn Shinawatra, daughter of billionaire ex-premier Thaksin, vowed to boost the kingdom's sluggish economy as she formally took office on Sunday. Frama Pani, NTA News.
Talking sports, Man City trash Chelsea in the English Premier League. And Bade Adeleye will tell us more and why Chelsea has something to do with number 10. Bade, let's hear from you.
Elizabeth, is quite simple. For a large part of last season and even the season before the last, Chelsea occupied the 10th position. But the latest is that they have a bigger than usual, squad now. So when it comes to banters, Chelsea fans are in for it. All right, let's quickly take you through some trending sports stories. We begin from home. Despite their inability to secure podium finishes at the just concluded Olympic Games in Paris, Sports Minister John Eno says Nigerian athletes still deserve to be celebrated. Eno was speaking at a reception organized in honor of Team Nigeria wrestlers to the just concluded Olympics by the Comptroller General of Customs, Bashir Adewale Adeni. The wrestlers who got certificates of commendation for their outing were evidently overwhelmed by the gesture As they revealed, they are more than motivated to do more to achieve international glory for Nigeria.
When I got the invitation from the CG Customs and board member of this federation yesterday, it was very, very uplifting, very motivating, very assuring. This is now a different perspective and a positive one.
It's unfortunate that at this time, they were not able to make a podium finish. But it is not the end of the world, because we know that they have done it before. And it is our belief that with the right support, with the right environment, they can still do it again.
With respect to the immediate, like everyone else, as president of the federation, I will also apologize to the Nigerian nation because we slightly fell short of our targets, but it is not for lack of trying.
I feel extremely overwhelmed because if I could remember when I returned from the Olympics, Tokyo 2020 Olympics, I got a silver medal, but I did not have this kind of reception. But yet, this time I went to the Olympics, I came back with empty-handed, likely white order in the team, but we had a good reception. We have people that who said, it's not all the time you win. Even if you did not win this time, we are still behind you.
Quite interesting to see that. All right, let's let you know that the president of the Nigeria Olympic Committee, Abuja, has been honored by the African Volleyball Confederation for his long service and contributions to the development of volleyball in Nigeria, Africa, and world over. The award, which was presented to him by FIVB President Eric Gracia and CIVB President Botra Hajij, was done during the elective Congress of Africa Volleyball Confederation in Marrakech, Morocco. Moving on to football, Remo Stars began their campaign in the CAF Champions League on a winning note as they defeated Moroccan giants Asfar 2-1 in the first leg of the preliminary round encounter. Junior Nduka gave the Kenne-based side the lead in the 19th minute before the visitors leveled proceedings 5 minutes after the restart. Right back Sadiq Ismail, however, restored his side's advantage in the 68th minute, ensuring they take a vital one-goal advantage into the return leg in Rabat next Sunday.
Finds Jide Fatakon with a crossing ball into the path and a crossing header! It's now Sadiq! Restores the lead for Remo Stars!
In Sunday's early kickoff, MPFL champions Rangers International secured a narrow 1-0 victory over US Milagro of Coros, who were technically playing at home at the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium. The second leg is set for Friday, August the 23rd, 2024, also at the Godswill Akpabio Stadium, where Rangers will look to finish the job and advance to the next round. Away from Nigeria now, Erling Haaland scored on his 100th Manchester City debut as the Premier League champions began their title defense with a win against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. Haaland opened the scoring in the 18th minute for his 91st City goal, while former Chelsea midfielder Mateo Kovacic made the game save late on with a curling shot from just outside the penalty area. Earlier in the day, Yohan Wissa earned Brentford a 2-1 win over Crystal Palace after Eberechi Eze's opener was controversially ruled out following a nightmare refereeing call. And with that, we're done on sports. It's back to Elizabeth.
Thank you so much, Bade, for the updates. The weather has been friendly lately in some parts of the country. Monday is before us. A quick look at its prospects.
Welcome.
We expect morning thunderstorms to affect parts of Taraba, Jigawa, Zamfara, Kano, Katsina, and also parts of Bauchi, with moderate rains over Nasarawa, Niger, Plateau, and Benue State. However, the southern region is expected to start off Monday with a quiet morning, but as the day progresses, there are good prospects for light to moderate rains in parts of Osun, Ekiti, Oyo, some parts of the southeast inland, and also the stretch of the coastal cities. Parts of Kogi, Plateau, Nasarawa, the Federal Capital Territory, as well as the northern cities such as Adamawa, Taraba, some parts of Kano, Katsina, Zamfara, Sokoto, and Kebbi are to witness thunderstorms and rains during the late evening hours. And that's it from this end.
Now you know the weather outlook for tomorrow. And I know our captain, Claire, has been enjoying it for some time now. Claire.
Yes, Lizzie, thank you. And the question you asked, Buddy, about what is it with Chelsea and number 10, two things.
Okay.
One, some of Chelsea's, very iconic stars actually wore jersey number 10. For instance, Hazard has a jersey number 10. And you know that also the official residence of the UK Prime Minister is also number 10. So you see, Chelsea, number 10 has
There's something attached
for
to
Chelsea.
it.
So, anyway, thank you. Let's say, all right, over to you now, Lizzie.
We'll take a break. More to come with our captain shortly.
A story that really, really touched the heart. Now, it's a baby's journey from congenital abnormality to normalcy. Now, the baby girl in Maiduguri was born under remarkable circumstances that has captured the community's hearts. Now, her journey, marked by a challenging delivery, turned into a story of hope and resilience. And our correspondent, Pauline Kujivana, takes us through this incredible story of determination in the path to normalcy for this little one. And we do sincerely, we do call for viewer discretion.
Fatima Mohammed, a mother of 6, gave birth to a baby like no other. The infant, a girl, was born with 4 legs, a small head and hands attached to her abdomen, a condition that the parents were shocked and heartbroken, unsure of what the future held for their child. Fatima and her husband, the breadwinner, who works menial jobs to provide for the family, resolved to embrace God's gift to the family despite the condition, until a team of experts from the University of Maiduguri Teaching Hospital stepped in, bringing hope to the family.
When I saw the baby, I was frightened, but later appreciated God for the gift. I went for scan when I was pregnant for other 5 children, but I did not go for this baby.
Considering my baby condition and financial implication for surgery, I decided that we will go home and manage our God gift, if not for Dr. Wabada, who gave us hope.
The medical team, led by Dr. Wabada Samuel, who assessed the baby's condition and determined that surgery was possible, successfully took the first operation to remove the head and hands attached to the abdomen. Dr. Wabada elaborated on this rare congenital anomaly and the need for timely and skilled surgical care.
It's a parasitic baby, but typically we call it Diphagous tetrapus. So it's one of the rare forms of conjoined twins. But in this particular patient, they are not sharing any major structures.
According to him, the 6-week-old baby, now weighing 2.2 kilograms, needs to gain more weight before the next operation of the legs can take place.
We've done some imaging. The CT scan showed the pelvis is okay, the parasitic segment is just an appendix. So the surgery will not be of any risk to in terms of constituting any deformity for the baby.
The Commissioner of Women Affairs and Social Development, Zuwaira Gambo, was moved by the family's story and provided support with a donation of 500,000 naira for the surgery.
We have started and we're not going to stop halfway.
With the support of the medical team and kind-hearted individuals, the parents believe that their daughter can overcome this rare condition and live a normal life.
Indeed, an incredible story of resilience there. Now let's take you to Ogumosho in Oyo State, where accessing quality health care has for long been beyond reach for many people, leaving those with serious conditions to rely on prayers and traditional remedies. But recently, a team of U.S. medical professionals brought help to this community, offering care to many patients who had been without it for so long. Now, in our next report, correspondent Abiodun Babalola shares the heartfelt stories of the patients and the medical team who made this life-changing outreach possible.
Accessing quality health care most times may be a nightmare for many who do not have money to cater for their medical needs. Aside from this, there are other factors that can restrain patients from seeking medical intervention promptly.
We've discovered that this thing is inside the stomach. We don't take anything, but God is sustaining us. We went to many hospitals. They book us for operation, and we don't get money to do the operation.
3 years ago, it's now serious that I will menstruate for 10 days minimum. I make my plan to come to Ogumosho. Getting to Ogumosho on Monday last week or Tuesday. So when she went for costing, she was told that there's going to be a free surgery, that she should go and register for the free surgery.
This is why these patients described the coming of a team of medical experts from the United States of America to Ogumosho for the first time as divine intervention.
I've been doing this thing for 35 years. We first came into Nigeria in 1988. So God has given us a call to help the needy and the less privileged, especially in the area of surgery where it's very costly, and a lot of private hospitals, most people can't afford to get those surgeries. So we come in and volunteer our services.
I've never been to Ogumosho before. I've been to Nigeria 15 times to do medical interventions, but this one's been different to just see new people, new things to do, especially whenever they've had ailments for years, sometimes decades, and now they can finally get relief from it.
Screened patients at the Lautech Teaching Hospital and Bowen Teaching Hospital, all in Ogumosho, were operated on.
We thank these people, Almighty Allah. God bless all.
I really appreciate you. I pray the Lord will continue to bless you more.
Some people are really sick, but they don't have the money. Even if you were to go to America, you probably won't get the surgeons to operate on you. They are also doing it because of covenant they made with God. And that's why we are so happy that they will come to a town like Ogumosho.
Excellent. Now, they say the eyes are the window to the soul, and every blink tells a story. But what happens when those eyes start seeing things and aren't really there? This is the sad reality for millions suffering from cornea infections, where the world becomes unclear and hope fades away. Yet, thanks to the generosity of cornea donors, the lives of many of these patients are now being transformed. Musa Toliat shares the inspiring stories of those who have been transformed by this precious gift.
Cornea is the eye's outermost lens that functions like a window which controls and focuses the entry of light into the eye. It contributes not less than 75% of the eye's total focusing power. When the cornea is diseased, blindness is imminent. Presently, Nigeria is grappling with high rates of preventable blindness.
The prevalence rate of blindness in Nigeria
based on the 2005 to 2007 survey, is 0.7%. So assuming we have maybe 220 million people in Nigeria, that will make it going close to 2 million if we are using the prevalence rate of 0.78%.
One of the feasible solutions to reverse blindness is cornea transplant, and the cost of securing a cornea can break a bank.
To get a cornea here now, it's the cheapest is about $1,500.
Ophthalmologists believe that the cornea of the deceased can still play a role in restoring the sight of the living, provided there has been a commitment to donate the cornea at death.
We are saying that for a human being, you can donate your liver, your kidney, your lungs, your heart, your pancreas, your eyes, so that when you pass on, somebody else can use it.
It's doable in Nigeria. We can donate in Nigeria, we can do the surgeries in Nigeria, you get good results in Nigeria.
The only eye bank in Nigeria is located at the Lagos State University Teaching Hospital.
We do not have cornea in the bank because Nigerians don't believe in giving their corneas. I've had some elderly patients when they come and I ask them, anytime you pass, can you give me your word that your cornea can be used so that my sight can be restored? And they say, doctor, Otio, that one is not it.
What is the position of religious bodies on organ donation?
To donate your organ, which will attract reward from Allah, has to be for charity purpose, not for the purpose of commercial. It is regarded and recorded for that person as a sadaqatun jariyah, as a charity which endures after the demise of that person.
Now that we know it costs nothing to pledge the cornea, which becomes useless at death, wouldn't you like to let go when you have to go?
I've donated everything in but not just my eyes. My children know, my family knows, I've told them. When I die, get in touch with the hospital. Whatever they need to remove, let them remove it. I don't need it.
Now, when police officers rush into danger, the family hold their breath, praying for their safe return. But what happens when the worst happens and they don't come back? The Police Officers' Wives Association, POA, has been a beacon of hope for 60 years, supporting the spouses and families of Nigeria's police officers. Now, in a heartfelt address, Nigeria's First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, hailed these women as the unsung heroes behind the badge. Francis Form shares the inspiring story of POA's enduring commitment to caring for the home front, a testament to the power of love and resilience.
Behind every brave police officer, there is a supportive and strong partner who bears the weight of their loved ones. Her life is filled with the unique challenges, sacrifices, and moments of pride. Anytime her husband puts on the uniform, she is faced with the moment of prayer of the safe return of her husband. This can be overwhelming, but the woman has learned to cope.
Going to work already, Daddy? Yes, but I'll be back before you know it.
60 years ago, the police officers' wives came together to birth an idea, the Police Officers' Wives Association. And just like yesterday, POA is 60, with 22 minds being on the saddle, with every one of them at different time laid a stone upon which another builds on. And gathered in this hall are spouses of police officers and men, and dignitaries from all walks of life. They are here to celebrate POA's existence with the unveiling of a book, The Motherhood of National and Human Security, highlighting the role of women, particularly wives of officers and men of security forces.
The emotional support, understanding, and the peace you bring to the home allows our officers to focus on their service to the nation without undue stress.
Inspector General of Police Kayode Egbetokun applauded POA for enhancing the overall well-being of police families across the country.
I look forward to many more years of lifting each other up and standing strong together, serving our communities with pride and purpose.
For the leadership of POA, the association is getting better day by day, making impact in the police families.
On the pivot of 3-point agenda, my administration has taken quantum leaps to embark on economic empowerment projects and skill acquisition programs and projects to enhance the economic life of our members and their families.
And also make sure that you make the home so palatable that the man who is out there fighting and protecting the properties and the human beings in the country comes back home to meet a very peaceful home.
Established in 1964 by the then wife of the first indigenous IGP, POA has remained the Amazon of their husbands at the front line.
Congratulations.
All right, a very good point for us to take a short break. Don't go away. Newsline. Right, welcome back. You're watching Newsline, and news just in says that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will embark on a trip to France on Monday, August the 18th. He will depart from Abuja, the nation's capital. And Special Advisor to the President, Media and Publicity Chief Ajuri Ngelale says President Tinubu will return to the country after his brief work stay in France. And we will keep you updated on details of the President's trip to France when we get them. So let's get back on the line. And when we talk about harvesting, buying and selling, of course, we naturally think about farmers and, of course, exchange of goods and services in the marketplace. But when we relate the term harvest to human beings, especially children, it signals a very deep soul or moral failure somewhere in our society. Unfortunately, this is the unsettling reality in parts of our country today, where certain so-called mothers and orphanage homes have turned children into commodities. In this report, correspondent Clement Barikwe uncovers the disturbing details of this shocking trade in Akwa Ibom State.
Because I can't believe.
Okay, you can't believe. From your boyfriend or your husband?
My boyfriend.
Okay, so what happened?
My boyfriend died me.
Imem, 17 years old, got pregnant for her boyfriend, who later denied the pregnancy and abandoned her. Her parents, whose sources of livelihood are not guaranteed, in a bid to cover up the shame, hands her over to an orphanage in Owerri, unknown to them that it is a baby factory. There are several other stories of child harvesting and baby factories making the rounds, with young females between the ages of 15 to 20 as targets.
Since my assumption of duty in February 2024, we have recorded about 5 cases of baby factory, and we have been able to have 13 victims with 3 infants. That is altogether, we have 16 victims, and we have arrested 8 suspects. For what we have done thereafter, we have been able to reunite them with their members of family, and we have counseled their family that they should take care of these ladies.
But why should a parent or parents choose this part of this honor?
As a father, hearing such information going on in our society, it saddened our hearts.
It is very, very disturbing for one to link hunger and poverty to selling a fellow human being, in this case, children, which are gifts from God.
If these children do not have who to sell this child to, they won't be going
into this. They won't start making it as a business, because some of them are doing it as business.
From the beginning of a lady that is not married to go in for sex, that is sin. First and foremost, that is sin. For her to produce or to give birth to the baby and sell it out is another sin.
Group influence. When people are influenced to a situation that they will be de-individuated. De-individuated means that you do not really stand by your original standards of behavior.
As rampant as this illegal trade may be in Akwa Ibom State, the police is yet to uncover any baby factory in the state.
We don't have the factories in Akwa Ibom, but we have a lot of Akwa Ibomites that are involved in this trade. They get the girls here to those camps in other places. Some under the pretext that they are going to give them work in Lagos, and they go to the camp and they lock them up there.
While the baby sellers get monetary values from their illegal deals, no one knows the fate of these innocent children who are sold out, not even the mother, as some of them end up in the hands of ritual killers.
Unbelievable, but that's the stark reality, and it's a call for action for all of us. Now, you've probably heard the phrase, if you see something, say something. It's more than just a slogan. It's a powerful reminder to stay alert and report anything that seems off, whether at work, in school, or even on the streets. Now, it was developed by the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. The slogan emphasizes the importance of public awareness and reporting suspicious activities to keep everyone safe. Yet, despite the clear message, many people still hesitate to speak up, even when they notice something concerning. And it's a bit puzzling, isn't it? So our correspondent Joy Ilebu took to the streets to ask why so many of us hold back when it comes to acting on what we see.
We all have someone or something to protect. Everyone in our local community plays an important role in keeping the society safe. Investigations show that a public that can identify unusual and suspicious behavior is essential to protecting communities from criminal threats, be it homegrown or foreign. The If You See Something, Say Something is a campaign sponsored by the U.S. Department of Homeland Security to raise public awareness about terrorism and the importance of reporting suspicious activity to security authorities. The slogan, which gained momentum, was also adopted by security agencies in Nigeria to educate and encourage citizens to report any disturbing information heard.
In as much as, see something, say something, is really worthy, of being practiced. But the onus essentially is on the government to make use of technology, to make use of the little they have been told to actually ensure the safety of lives and property of citizens.
Maybe something happened to somebody. Maybe the person did not have the way of saying it. But maybe you are outspoken or you know somebody that you tell. Do you understand? They might help, but maybe lend help to the person.
Provided the security will keep intact the information so that they will not start exposing the person who must have devoted his time to say something.
Today, a lot of concerns have been placed on the menace caused by insecurity, necessitating the slogan among concerned Nigerians for people to say something to appropriate authorities once they spot something unusual. One may, however, wonder why some people hesitate to report crime or criminality.
They may see something and say something and nothing happens. Thereafter, people may not have that encouragement. People may no longer be that enthusiastic. People may not be that motivated to keep saying something when they see something.
It's very commendable because, you see, we always refer to abroad, but that has been the secret behind there. Once they see, somebody will just open his or her window, see something, and then call their own equivalent of 911 and things. But here we'll see things it's not my business.
Regarding to the way things are, nobody wants to lose his life. But for me, I would have advised that when you see something, you say it.
They should say, but they should use the right channel.
Experts say efforts must be made to educate people to memorize faces, skin color, and other physical attributes that could be used to identify a person of interest.
All our numbers are out there. It is still in that spirit of when you see something, you say something, that we were able to give out, apart from the control room numbers, that we have also given out our own private number so that individuals can also reach out to us. You can quickly go to your app store, Police Rescue Me app, and register. You can report incidences while you are in your house. It is also in that spirit of when you see something, you say something.
You play a role in protecting your community from all forms of crime and terrorism-related activity. Remember to always say something.
When you say something, say something. Now, in the heart of Osogbo, where the ancient river flows, in the sacred grove, whisper tales of old. A celebration like no other comes to life, and it's a time when tradition meets the present and spirituality dances with culture. Welcome to Osun Osogbo Festival. It's a journey into the soul of the Yoruba heritage, where faith, unity, and joy are interwoven into the fabric of that community. And Femi Afariugu delves into the vibrant colors, the sacred rituals, and the enduring legacy of this year's Osun Osogbo Festival.
For centuries, the people of Osogbo have been gathering at the sacred Osun Osogbo Grove, one of the two UNESCO's World Heritage Sites in Nigeria, to pay homage to the Yoruba goddess Osun, believed to give fertility, prosperity, and protection. This festival is not just for those born of the soil. For many, the journey to Osogbo is a pilgrimage to a place of sacred encounter with the divine that transcends language, culture, and creed.
Osun bless my family, my culture, my country. I'm great to come back every day and Osun Osogbo stay.
More people are becoming aware of their roots, their cultural roots, and Osun is living here, so we are coming here.
No, most of them, they are not just novices, they are initiates. They have been devotees for years. I've got daughters among them that they have been studying them for 25 years.
Osun Osogbo Festival is a celebration of the vibrant art and culture of the Yoruba people.
I've seen Japanese, Chinese, Korean here. I've seen American, I've seen Cubans, I've seen a lot of people here. It's a lot of signs to tell you that it's an international celebration.
A major symbolic moment associated with the festival is the votary maiden carrying the sacrificial calabash to the Osun River as devotees line the path, offering prayers and song of praise, symbolizing the community's hope and prayers for the coming year.
We are to acknowledge Osun Osogbo for all what he has been provide for all inhabitants city of Osogbo, protection over the town, blessing of children to all childless women.
Osun is a mother of the universe. In fact, there's no better time to do Osun Festival than this time of hardship. Because when you are hungry, you look for food.
The festival has become a universal dance, a shared spiritual experience where the goddess of the river welcomes all who seek her blessings.
Indeed, and this is Newsline tonight, and we have quite a lot of stories we are yet to take, and we will when we come back from this commercial break presently. Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Now, for decades, the esteemed Society of Nigerian Broadcasters, a cornerstone of the fourth estate of the BREM, has been guided by the Broadcasting Organization of Nigeria, BON. Today, members of SBN can proudly reflect on their role in shaping the future of broadcasting as they marked the first ever national conference that elected and swore in the Society's pioneer executives. Now, the two-day event was resounding success, culminating in memorable dinner and awards night. And our correspondent Charles Alpha reports on this landmark event and a new chapter beginning for Nigerian broadcasting.
60 years was what it took to gather these veterans who can now say they were part of a mega history that was long conceived by the four founding fathers, two of whom are still alive to witness the first national conference of the Society of Nigerian Broadcasters.
It's like a Chinese bamboo that I've almost given up on. Then it springs forth and begins to grow rapidly. So I'm full of excitement.
The two-day conference began with discussions on diverse topical issues as they affect the broadcast industry, leveraging advent of the internet, the challenges it presents, as well as opportunities to combat fake news.
By the rules and regulations.
They too witnessed the induction of 157 new members, election of first ever executives to be elected through election that saw two contestants. Professor Omar Pate, who has been plying his trade at the Federal University Gombe State, emerged winner of the election on a night that a former head of state, General Ibrahim Babangida, had his say on the mark that has been made by SNB.
He appreciates it. That's why I'm here.
Ministers of Information and National Orientation Mohammed Idris and his environment colleague Isiaq Salako, as well as the former Director General of NTA Yakubu Ibn Mohammed, were among prominent Nigerians who graced the dinner and awards night with their presence.
I didn't expect it. When it came, I was highly elated.
It is an eye-opener for upcoming to ensure that they do their best.
The work we do in environments are mostly soft work. To get the people to buy in, you need the full support of the media.
For the convener and chairman of BON and DG NTA, Saliu Abdul Hamid Dembos, and his partners, it is a celebration of efforts and legacy, a fresh start for a credible broadcast system that will attract influence and policy direction, leveraging opportunities availed by the internet to produce content that meets modern demands.
A careful selection was made by the committee set up to organize this event, and they have come up with an undisputable list of individuals that truly merit the award that they will be receiving this evening. I want to congratulate them for being good ambassadors of the broadcasting industry and urge them to keep tab with the happenings.
And congratulations to the pioneer executives. Now, as the rains pour this planting season, farmers across the country look with high hopes for prosperous harvests. Alas, Mother Nature had her own plans, and the consistent and heavy rainfall has thrown a curveball into what was expected to be a straightforward growing season. Farmers who normally would rejoice at the sight of a platter of rain are now facing unexpected challenges, and our correspondent Tessie Mary is also curious and went in search of how these weather patterns are impacting our local agricultural landscape.
Rain
Rains are here again and farmers are busy planting and of course clearing the fields in anticipation of a bumper harvest as they contribute in achieving food security in the country. It's few weeks into the rainy season in most parts of the north-central region, including Abuja, as the frequency of downpour increases. With excitement, this family and other farmers are busy clearing the land and planting crops.
Plant granules and corn. As you see me here, I've not been farming. I'm a civil servant, but because of the challenges in Nigeria today, that is why I said, let me come and farm. We want government to assist us in reducing the price of fertilizer.
We are scared to come into the farm because of insecurity. We are not having security. So please, government will help us.
It will help resolve all this hardship.
Although Nigerian Meteorological Agency, NIMET, predicts that this year's rainy season, which starts late, will be brief, hence the need for farmers to be aware of the weather pattern and maximize food production.
The growing season is going to be short in all parts of all the state of the country, with the exception of 3, that is Akwa Ibom, Rivers, and Cross River. That being the case, then it means you can say that out of the 37 states, which is 36 plus FCT, the prediction is showing that the length of the growing season is going to be shorter. And the implication of this, it means farmers should try as much as they can to go after seeds that are shorter maturity. They should not plant the seeds that they have been planting.
You have to study your environment. Is it a swampy area? You have to know. Is it a place where you can plant rice or cocoyam? Know the nature of the soil you have within your community.
Also, with prediction for flooding in most parts of the country, there are calls for farmers to avoid planting crops that will require minimal water in flood-prone areas.
Those that are beside very close to river bank, they should be able to see how they can store water for irrigation, so that when the rain stops, they can now use the facility, they can now use the water to irrigate.
While in most parts of the north, farmers are clearing their lands and planting crops, but adherence to weather advisory by farmers will go a long way to reduce losses and ensure bumper harvest.
All right, thank you, Tessie and Mary. Let's take our last commercial break. Newsline will return shortly.
This season, enjoy all the better moments with GoTV. Your football with GoTV, they give you better deal of decoder plus GoTenna for only 19,900 naira. Make you enjoy correct football action live on Top Super Sport. GoTV, love it.
Imagine a world where your potential isn't limited by your bank account, where your financial dreams can become reality. That world is here with the Nigerian Consumer Credit Corporation scheme, Credico. Credico is one of President Tinubu's initiatives designed to put the power of consumer credit in the hands of working Nigerians. Here to help you achieve your goals, whether it's providing for your family or expanding your home or business. Visit www.credico.ng today for details. This is the renewed hope.
Effective service delivery. Quick intervention for progress and development in all sectors remain a recurring desire of Nigerians. To bridge these gaps and accelerate improvement in the people's living conditions, President Bola Tinubu hits the ground running, signing performance bonds with the administration's foot soldiers. Reshaping Democracy debuts on the NTA, putting the 8 presidential priority areas and the implementers on a scale, holding MDAs accountable. Keep a date with the NTA every Tuesday at 10:05 p.m. as we assess government's performance and reshape the nation's democracy.
All right, we do appreciate that you stay with us. Now, Death is an inevitable end for all mortals, but it's not death that we should fear. It's exactly what we leave behind. When your legacy lives on in the hearts of people, you are truly a great person. And such is the story of the late Chief Anthony Ede, whose recent passing brought family, friends, and well-wishers together to honor a life filled with positive impact and inspiration. Here is Oyemi Ajayi, who brought us this report.
A candlelight procession for someone who has left his mark on the sand of time. A man who has different paths to different people, but his kind heart extols his virtues. The life and time of Chief Tony Ede is one worthy of emulation, just as many have said. Taking the Bible scripture from 2 Corinthians chapter 4, the clergy Emmanuel Ojo described the deceased as a man who loves God dearly, despite being a titled man. His godly virtues radiates all around him.
He is a man that has such a very deep love for God.
The 75 years spent by the deceased has been said to be filled with that of his uncompromising values of integrity, honesty, dedication, courage, and compassion.
He taught us to be independent. He taught us to be okay with what we have, but grow it. Not necessarily be okay, but not to be greedy.
So when we'll be together, we'll play sometimes and he'll crack dark jokes and I'll just be like, yeah, this is a bit too dark to crack to your kid, but yeah, he was a fun person.
And I remember when the new national anthem came out, Daddy sent it to me and said, let the new national anthem. That was the kind of person my father was. He had integrity.
The man, as our landlord there, I was telling them here that there are some tenants in which you know this is the amount you're supposed to be paying as a tenant in your flat. They will cry to him and say, Oga, see, it's okay, my daughter or my son, how much will you pay? He said, maybe it's 1 million naira, I have 700. It's okay. It's uncommon.
In Lagos, friends and families gathered to celebrate him as well at the premises of the Nigerian Television Authority NTA Network Center. It was a significant gathering of dignitaries and NTA alumni, including the former Director General of the NTA, Shola Omole.
Tony was a crack of a reporter. He was an excellent reporter, a dogged fighter, a good documentary builder, and he made a name for NTA via that Newsweek program.
He was my producer at one time. I remember that I presented Newsweek once or twice for him. He was a great producer, but I always wondered why he never went in front of the camera. Anyway, that's because he was a fantastic producer.
Tony has left a legacy. Build on it, and take it to a higher level.
A lot of things are attributed to him, which meant that he fulfilled his mission, because he made a mark in broadcasting.
His wife speaks more about him and his extolled values.
My husband was a very humble person. It was fun to be with. There's no dull moment with him. And every child is sa. Every child, woman is ma. He was a loving father, a caring husband.
Chief Tony Ede, fondly called Big Daddy, made his mark in the field of journalism when he worked with the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, as a news reporter, producer, and maker of TV documentary, before he joined the Central Bank of Nigeria, where he was the pioneer head of communication and spokesperson of the bank for 18 years. Chief Anthony Amajorishe Ede was born in 1949 and died in 2014.
Sometimes saying goodbye is the hardest part, especially when we've shared such compelling and heartfelt stories together. But as they say, all good things must come to an end. For now, don't worry though, because we will be back next Sunday to continue this journey. But in the meantime, please, let's remember to live with purpose, to uplift and not tear down, to build bridges of love and understanding. Let one love guide our hearts and unite us all. And until we meet again next week, Sunday, stay safe, stay hopeful, and goodbye.
Information is power. Everyone wants power. So feel powerful with the NTA News mobile app, the one-stop information center. Real news at your fingertip. Be the first to report by uploading first-hand information on the U-Report link, and be the first to know by simply clicking on any of the links on the sidebar for headlines, domestic and foreign news,